Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Satchidanandamurtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Parvavahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Saji.
Hari Om, Guruji. Hari Om. Hari Om. So Hari Om, all the participants, everyone, all the yogis, yoginis, Hari Om for this beautiful evening. I think we start with the Shanti Mantra as we usually do. Please participate of Shanti Mantra. Keep your spine and back erect. Try to be relax your whole body. Just stop all tensions to be free more inside and outside. The whole body trying to relax and relax. Take a deep inhalation and exhalation. Inhale and exhale. A couple of inhalation and exhalation. Inhale, exhale, and relax and relax. Shanti Mantra. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadidamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti
Recording in progress.
Shanti. Namaste, all our participants, and most welcome. Namaste. Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om,
Namaste.
Saji.
Hari Om, Hari Om. So today we are waiting this opportunity. I am waiting since 1 year to get the Guruji, Vasudevji in this meeting. So meanwhile, I tried many occasions what is the best time to invite. And the last the last January, I was programming those who want to going to be the part. And I thought this is the perfect time to invite Sri Vasudeva Guruji to meet all our students, participants from all over the world. And I'm so glad myself I'm getting this opportunity to bring you, Guruji, to meet all these participants to get some kind of a light in their life.
Thank you, Saji.
So all the participants, you already know Sri Vasudeva Guruji. Almost, I think, 4 generations back, he was actually root from India 4 generations back. They moved to the Caribbean islands, Guruji, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, living there so long time. And as I understand that from the very small age, he's seeking the truth of the life, and that bring him to India. And as other wandering yogis, he moved around all the ashram. Finally, he finds his guru, and in that ashram he lived several months or years. And to get the initiation from there, I think Guruji Siddha Yoga path. Yeah. So, and as I understand, a professional, he left his all this at the age of 39. He completely devoted his life to serve the humanity through the spirituality. So this is, and he already established a Board Star ORG organization under this spiritual movement in Europe, India, right now, okay, in India and other part of the world, he is guiding them, leading them into the spiritual part of the life. So this is a small, non-introduction from my side. Thank you all the participants. I'm hand over this to Guruji. Hari Om. Namaste.
Hari Om Saji. Thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you to our Satsang today and to say how much I appreciate your company. I do believe that nothing in this universe happens by chance. It's a karmic event. It is the karmic law that brings all of us together. So you're not here by chance, I'm not here by chance, we are not here by chance. Thank you, Saji, for the little biographical sketch. But just to give you all a little more insight so that you can understand me, my path has been Shaktipat Kundalini Mahayoga. And the Shaktipat initiation is an energy initiation that happens in a very natural way when we come into the field of a master. So I was barely 21 years old when this happened to me in India. Of course, I was looking for a living physical master. I'd already been influenced by the works of Raman Maharishi, Jiddu Krishnamurti, Swami Vivekananda, Paramahansa Yogananda. I'd already been influenced by them, and I had this passion for meeting a living guru. My life was in such a state at that tender age, 20, that nothing else was meaningful to me. I wanted to be able to master my mind. I thought, if I have a mind and I can't master it, then what is the use of having a mind? So I felt so disempowered that I couldn't control my own mind. And so it became a strong desire within me that I need to have mental mastery. And not only that, but my emotional world seemed to have gone topsy-turvy. I couldn't feel love. I felt loveless. And there was a strong desire in me to be able to feel love in every moment. In every moment, I must feel love. And not conditional love that we experience in worldly love, but a love that was unconditional. So I searched for that. I searched for managing my mind. I searched for the feeling of love continuously. And then I wanted to know, why am I in this body? Why am I on this earth? This is a perishable body. It has a birth, it lives, and it's going to die. What am I doing in this earth? So I needed purpose. And I needed to find out, who is this creator that sent me here, made me, and I have no connection with that creator? Male or female, I didn't know. So I wanted to establish a connection with the creator. And the next one was, if there is what is called inner freedom and higher consciousness, I want it. You know, in the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, the mantra of liberation, deathlessness, it says, Mahamritat. And we say it means grant us immortal consciousness. But it says, don't take away from me immortal consciousness. Don't withhold it from me. So it is a demand in this Mrityunjaya mantra, Maha, that we should experience immortal consciousness with immediacy. Now I want to experience this. And so that held me. I needed to have the highest consciousness that was possible for humanity. And if anybody had it, I wanted it. And then that tender age of 20, when I lost everything, all this zeal for life itself, I was working in the oil industry and I left it. I was junior. And I left it and went into humanitarian work teaching. And it was during those years that I made my search to India. And I continued sadhana, very strong sadhana, because I needed to liberate myself. So I'd read the work of Swami Vivekananda. And he said that no temple, no ritual, no religion can give you this higher consciousness. But he said, if you meet a master who can give you that spiritual impulse, then you are likely to experience it. So those words of Swami Vivekananda impacted me so strongly that I wanted to find a living master. I was so inspired by the work of Paramahamsa Yogananda and his Kriya Yoga. I followed the lessons. I would go to their center here, and I felt so much peace, but that wasn't enough. I needed to be guided by a living master, to sit in the presence of a living master. And that's why at 21, I traveled to India. I gave up my job and I traveled through India. I wanted to experience enlightenment. I wanted to sit with a master. First, I got the blessings of Sri Satya Sai Baba in Puttaparthi, for those of you who know him, and he hugged me and he held me and he said, your mind is very scattered. And he said, I will give you a talisman. I'll give you a locket. Just wear it. And so next day he materialized this little locket and I wore it. But I felt that nothing happened to my mind. I didn't understand how these gurus work, but nothing happened to my mind. But I knew he knew what was happening inside of me. And he touched my body in certain spaces, so I knew that he knew what was happening with me. And, but the talisman didn't work. But when I left there, somehow I felt a greater freedom. And I felt this zeal to, doesn't matter whether I get enlightenment or not. And I felt this zeal, let me travel through India. And in traveling through India, I went to the ashram of Swami Muktanand in Ganeshpuri, India. And I just went to drop a letter for a Swamiji who was living there from Trinidad, from my country. And when I went in there, I was so impacted by this ashram. The Guruji wasn't there. But I was so impacted by this ashram. The very first night I sat in Kirtan, I could swear that I was in heaven. For the first time I could listen to Kirtan and felt that I was in heaven. And the next day, what happened to me was so impactful. My body started to sway. My hands started to clap in all this rhythm, and I'm saying, what is this energy in this place that is creating this? And so I was a little bit confused because I lost control of my clapping and movement. And so there was a strong energy experience in my being. And suddenly I felt a little liberation in my heart. There was some happiness that was coming inside of me. But I was witnessing this. And then, so confused, I was staying in a dormitory, and I started to read the books in there. And there was one book they called Devatma Shakti. And this book had signs of awakened Kundalini. And I saw the exact experiences I was having in there. And so I realized that Kundalini Shakti was awakened in me. And I got very interested in this Guruji of this place. So he was a Siddha Yogi, or Mahayogi, and he was an adept in a master in Kundalini Yoga, but not the Kundalini Yoga that we practice with force. It's called Shaktipat Kundalini Yoga. So there, Kundalini naturally wakes up inside, and then she starts the journey inside. She becomes the guru. She becomes the guide. So Swamiji Muktanand used to say, kneel to yourself, bow to yourself, God dwells within you as you. And I absolutely love this idea of not needing to focus externally, but internally. And so I took that to heart. And it took me some weeks to really accept him as my master, but I did after a few weeks. Because what happened is that this kirtan started to create very strong experiences in my consciousness field and my energy field. I started to sing, the voice started to come out naturally. When I walk, I'd be walking on air. I would almost feel that I'm floating. So I was having these intense energy experiences, and my heart blew open. I was feeling loving for the first time in my life. So this is called Shaktipat. And this started a journey. So after 4 months in India, I traveled through India. I didn't find any place like this, but I needed to go back to Trinidad, otherwise I'll have to stay indefinitely in India. I'd gone to stay indefinitely in India, but now with this kind of freedom I felt that I could go back to Trinidad. So I felt the Guru was within me, Kundalini. God was within me, Kundalini. and I felt that I had a path. And so I continued this intense sadhana that I had learned in the ashram for the time that I stayed there. And I kept that as a strong discipline in my home country. So I was disciplined as they were in India. But all I did was I went back to teaching. And so I stayed with this sadhana, and it grew and grew and grew. And 2 years after, the master was in the ashram, and I heard it, and there was a course that was done in this Siddha Yoga. So I went and I attended, and I was in his presence. But what happened then and there was when I sat in the satsang with him, and I looked at him, I thought to myself, this is a man, this is a human. How can I honor this human? So I go bow in the Hindu tradition because it's my tradition. I bow, but I didn't feel that connection with the body. And so for an entire week of meeting the physical master, I was challenged. I could not form a bond with the physical master because I was so into this kundalini power inside of me. I didn't know how to relate both. So one day in the satsang, as I sat and listened to him, I said, no, I'm not going to focus on his outer being. I want to focus on this kundalini inside. And when I did, magic happened. Magic happened. I felt that what was in this master is not the body. The power that was in this master is the power of the universe, the kundalini. And that is the same power I experience within my own being. And so I decided to focus on this. And when I did, a marvelous switch happened. I saw kundalini in me, and I saw kundalini in him. But he had it at such a depth that I couldn't fathom. And then I thought to myself, that is what I want. I want to be like him. I absolutely want to be like him. So I spent my time there. No need to talk with him. Happy to be around him. Happy to watch him walk. Happy to watch him chant. Happy to watch him get involved. He was so powerful. He was like a tiger cat when he moved. He just moved so stealthily and so strongly, and I could swear that God is moving in this being. And so when I completed my course, I left for Trinidad. I was a whole other person. I became a teacher in the tradition. And barely 7 months after, what happened to me was incredible, beyond my imagination. The Kundalini experiences became so intense. It was in my heart and head only. I couldn't speak very well. I couldn't talk, only mantras wanted to come out. And so it held me in that state for 40 days, like in a cocoon of transformation. Gradually, I became more and more of a witness. Gradually, I became more and more of like power, awesome power. And what happened after 40 days? I didn't know it would be 40 days. It just happened in 40 days. What happened on that 40th day is that this energy went straight to my head and moved and blew the crown open. And when that happened, my whole being became peaceful. I was just having milk and fruits. Now I could eat. Now I felt I could relate to the world again. Now I was able to feel the energies in people. Now I was able to feel what was happening in their whole being. Now I was not the body. Even when I felt my hand, it was not me. I was establishing a space inside. And the only thing, that mantra that would come out of my mouth is I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. Nothing else. So that was the incredible experience that happened to me that made me who I am today. But I'm a passionate person. I love living. I love life. As transitory as life may be, as illusory as life may be, I love to work with the energy. I love to move in the energy. I love to live in the energy. And of course, yoga is my passion. So the inner yoga came alive. The whole idea of Manas Chakra, the whole idea of Bindu, the whole idea of the elements, the whole idea of the senses and the subtle elements, everything became alive to me. And this mastery over the inner space came alive to me. But it was just my mastery. What I realized then, that I thought that everyone would see these changes in me. and would treat me differently. But when I interacted with the world, they all treated me like the old person, though I'm totally different inside. And when I started to speak about the inner journey, nobody would understand me. So I started to become quiet. And in that quietness, I'm thinking, what do? I don't know how to teach this thing. I don't know how to communicate this thing. What do? So after a while, it came to me, why don't you continue your academic studies? Why don't you master the outer world as you have mastered the inner? And then the opportunities came from the universe. Scholarship came to me. I went to university. I graduated in engineering. I worked in the field of engineering. And I used the spirituality to maximum in everything that I did. I became really humanitarian in the workplace. And I was able to manage the workplace. So I worked myself successfully in the workplace to a manager in the engineering field. And I thought, I don't want more of this. I was 39 years old. Now I want to do what I want to do. I want to teach people how to master the inner space. I want to teach people how to integrate with the world. I want to teach people how to master inner and outer. And I want to teach in a holistic way. We must love life completely and not move away from life. Spirituality must manifest in daily life. And so I started the Blue Star organization. And that started to grow over the years. And I'm not one for evangelizing, so I don't go out there promoting things, but I believe that those who need me will find me. So we have just enough visibility that people can find us if they really need us. And that's how I am. I believe when the student is ready, the master will appear, like it happened to me. So here you have a little bit of my life story. That's what I did, and that's what I am today. So I've created an organization called Blue Star. It's a holistic-based organization. It covers every area. And the yoga that I practice is really the yoga of Kundalini, Mahayoga. So in my presence, people are impacted by this energy, just like I was in the presence of my master and ashram. So people are impacted by that. And then through that, I guide them along the way as to how to go further and deepen their consciousness and deepen their awareness and how to integrate with daily life. And these days, as the body is older, I'm very passionate about well-being. So a lot of my courses are based on well-being. But well-being begins from inside. It's not just in the body. Not just about the food you eat and the exercise that you do, but the thoughts that you think, the emotions that you feel, the vitality that courses through your body, the power you have to manage the breath. Because in the yoga, we learn the yoga breathing, but it's more important to understand prana and apana. It's more important to understand the inner energies, and it's more important to understand Ida Pingala and Shushumna and the heating and cooling modes of the breath. And we need to find balance there. In fact, Hatha means sun and moon. It means the cooling energy and the heating energy, finding balance within you. So that is what we need to know. We need to know the inner energies as well. So the complete yoga has to be with understanding the energies inside of you and how to express that within the body. And that brings us to the whole idea of quantum science. That the quantum idea is that energy moves in waves, as well as energy has a particle nature. So we have a material nature, matter, but we also operate in waves, and that's where chakras come in. We have Manas chakra, which works with the senses and elements. We have the Agya chakra in Bindu mode, which goes straight up to the crown. We have the rest. Vishuddha, Anahata, Manipura, Swadhisthana, and Muladhara. So these chakras also influence the body big time. And when you can actually feel them within you, all your yoga postures, your breathing practices, and your meditation practices will certainly change. So that's what I try to do. I try to add this dimension to all those who come to me. Learn the secrets of the inner space. Learn more about your energy body. It's working all the time. Kundalini is operating within you at low level of consciousness. Heighten your level of consciousness. Begin to feel her presence within you and co-create with her. Work with her co-creatively. Find her guidance within you. Work with her. But that's the whole idea. So a passion of mine is meditation. And since this COVID challenge happened, it has made me more powerful because I don't need a person to be in front of me to connect with them. I can connect with you right where you are. And why can we do that? Notice that in a wheel, every spoke in a wheel, if you take a bicycle wheel, every spoke in the wheel meets at the hub. They may be separated on the periphery, but at the very hub where the movement is, every spoke meets there. And that's how consciousness works. At the very center of consciousness, you exist there, I exist there. The same place. But bodies are like on the periphery of existence. They're just a covering, a fleshy covering. So if you are able to come to the depth of the mind, the root of the heart, the root of your pranas, that is the very hub, if you're able to come there, then you and I coexist in the same place, same space. And your mental field and my mental field, they are in a universal mind. So my mind is not separate to your mind. When I hold you in my mind and you hold me in your mind, we are meeting in the same common space. In the same mental space, we're meeting in the same space. And we have what is called a universal mind, that all our minds are operating in a universal mind. You will find sometimes that you are thinking of someone and they call you. You're thinking of something and it happens. It is fulfilled from outside. Why that happens? Because our minds are in each other. And if we are tuned to the mind of another, we can pick up their needs or we can pick up their thought. So our minds are not separate. Our hearts are not separate. And you see that very clearly in any deep relationship you have. That you can pick up the thoughts of the other. You don't need to talk too much. You can pick up the thoughts of the other. You can pick up the feelings of the other. And there's a communication beyond words. Why? Because our inner spaces are meeting. So it is possible that in the pranic space or the energy space that we can meet. And we can feel the presence of each other. You've studied yoga, so you know that Annamaya Kosha is what separates us. Pranamaya Kosha, that's the pranas. We have individual pranas. But Manomaya Kosha, which involves the mind, is a common field for us. Vijnanamaya Kosha, where we operate using the intellect, is a common field for us. Anandamaya Kosha is a common field for us. So our thoughts can tune into each other, or hearts can tune into each other. They are related, thoughts and heart. Our intellect can help the mind to tune into each other. And when we go a little deeper into consciousness, we can uncover the bliss that's already there. Bliss is already within you. Ananda is already within you. You don't have to create it. You don't have to manufacture it. You simply need to uncover it. So life is about uncovering what you already have inside of you. Peace, love, goodness, wisdom is already inside of you in vast measure. You simply need to access it. So the whole idea is uncovering that which lies within you. Meditation is that journey. It's a journey in the consciousness field to take you to the very core of being, beyond thought constructs, because thought constructs tend to separate us. We have individual thoughts, individual personality, and it tends to separate us. That's the ego thing. That's the ego consciousness. When we begin to open up the ego to each other, we begin to experience what is called a unified field. A field of oneness. That's where meditation lies. When we open our hearts with an attuned mind to each other, we share a field of love. When united, synergizes, becomes so much more powerful. Beyond our numbers and individualities, the synergy just grows. So we are able, in groups, to create such mental power, such synergistic mental power, such heart power, that we can change the field around us. Our bodies can vibrate differently. Our cells can vibrate differently. So meditation is a power to integrate these processes inside of you. So the tool for effective meditation is not just focusing on a mantra or just focusing on the breath. It is establishing yourself in witnessing. Being the witness of the mind. The detached witness, non-judgmental witness. No for or against. No attraction, no aversion in the mind. That witness is what helps us in the meditation to go beyond the mind and to uncover more and more of the depth of our being. So breath may help you to get there. And one of the ideas of breathing, prana, prana not only opens the lung, it's a vayu, it's a vital current. It not only opens up the lungs, but it energizes the senses and energizes the brain. So when you begin to really balance prana, apana, you find your senses start to become pacified. And you find your mind starts to become more quiet. So having the regulation of prana-apana is called pranayama, prana-apana, but having that regulation is important. And one of the ways of really doing the prana-apana is not jerkiness in the prana-apana. It's finding the rhythm of prana and apana. That prana must go into apana seamlessly, and apana must come into prana seamlessly. And when you have these prana, apana coming in rhythm, one into the other, there is no beginning, no end. So you're coming into the space of timelessness. Notice in meditation, we are waiting for the one breath to happen and the next happens, and we are waiting for the mantra, one mantra to go, and then the next, and then we repeat the other. No. With prana, apana, we don't wait for the other breath. One breath flows into the other. And the goal is you witness the prana-apana. Because only witnessing can take you deeper and deeper beyond the mind. And beyond the ego eventually. Because ego is only a mind product. And that's how you get deeper into the meditation. But the value of the meditation is that you can develop such mental power, such power of heart, that you can impact the physical body and its cellular nature big time. Your thoughts influence every part of you. Every time you think something, it's an event that impacts the whole body. And so if you can hold the entire body in a loving, appreciative field, I love you, my body. If you can begin to hold your body in that loving space, I love you, my body. You're so precious to me. I love you, my every cell. You're such a gift to me. If you can begin to hold your body in this kind of appreciation. And if you can begin to use your manas, that visualizing capacity that you have, to visualize a body that is well and hold a continuous template in your mind of well-being, what will happen to those cells? When they begin to be impacted by what you have in your mind, your body cells will vibrate to what is in your mental field. Mental is superior to the field of matter. So if you were to hold your mind in that connection with your body cells, or rather hold your entire body in the field of the mind, conscious of every cell, and holding the vision, visualizing, we use the manas there, visualizing that the body is healthy. Don't stray from that. Doesn't matter what the condition of the body is. You hold a mental field with a different template. I'm healthy. I'm vibrating with well-being. I'm healing. I am well. And the moment you keep this mantra inside of you of wholeness and wellness, your body cells will so slowly comply. And that's when meditation can become very powerful for well-being and for healing. Because what is happening there is quantum. It's energy healing. And of course, you need to do the additional things of proper lifestyle and the yoga and the other physical practices of cleansing, detoxing, energizing, revitalizing, restoring. But the inner part of you need to hold the attitude of well-being and wellness continuously. And if you do that, you're going to stay well. As you think, so you become, it is said. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As humankind thinketh in its heart, so is he. It also says in the Proverbs, a merry heart doeth like medicine. A merry heart doeth like medicine. A broken spirit drieth the bones. So here I've said a lot about the inner processes. So allow me the opportunity now to guide you into meditation. How is that? Are you ready? I'm going to take you into the meditation experience. As you would have learned, asana is important. Sit with the back as straight as you can. Asana is that which is comfortable and you can keep steady. Let's center in the position of witnessing. Witnessing our multidimensional being. Witnessing the mental space, it's the most powerful space. Seeking to detach from thoughts. Giving attention to the peacefulness in the mind. Listen to the silence. Silence is already there. Become aware of your breathing. Breathe out slowly, comfortably, consciously, and completely. And breathe out similarly. Let there be rhythm in the breath. Slowly out, slowly in. Full yoga breathing, using the belly to breathe. Open up the rib cage, open up the shoulders. Give attention to the spinal column as you breathe. And as you breathe out, just think of de-stressing, letting go of all stresses within you as much as you can see. Breathe it away. Let there be a gentle pause at the end of the out-breath and at the end of the in-breath. And remember what I said about timelessness. No beginning, no end. Let out-breath flow into in-breath seamlessly and in-breath into out-breath. No beginning, no end. Stay in multidimensional awareness. Relaxed body, a vital core as you breathe into the core, loving heart as you breathe into the chest, peaceful mind as you breathe into the upper area of the throat, and take your attention to the brain stem, to the medulla point of the brain stem, and connect with the third eye. Use the Ujjayi breathing, which I'm sure all of you know. And as you breathe out, focus on the third eye, breathing out. Empty the belly completely, and then go right down to the perineum area at the root, completing the out breath. Stay in the rhythm of the breath. Slowly out, slowly in. For some of you, if a mantra appears in the mind like Om, let it resonate. Not so much that you're repeating it. Listen to it as you repeat it. Let it resonate in your mind. If the breath slows down, it's fine. Keep the focus on peacefulness, lovingness. Now, when you begin to feel that the breath is moving almost effortlessly, you're coming into prana, apana awareness. And if you begin to feel that the breath stops, but the energy moves, continues to move, that's prana, apana. Stay in the breath awareness. Stay in witnessing. Stay in loving awareness. When you come to the heart, there's warmth in the hand and warmth in the body. As heart chakra is connected to touch. And hold the intention within your being of well-being, wellness, wholeness. Stay with me. If any sleepiness comes, do belly breathing. Stay with balance. Full yoga breathing. Now just put Om in the mind, as it's coming very strongly in mind. Om with the in-breath, Om with the out-breath. Let it resonate in the mental field. Om is a sound, primordial sound, that resonates with well-being at every level. If there is any natural urge within you that is coming to shift your posture, to breathe differently, to repeat a certain mantra that's coming, allow it to happen. The Kundalini energy is making it happen.
Recording stopped.
Now hold your body and your body cells in this amazing field of energy. I love you, my body. You're God's gift to me. I love you, my every cell. You're so precious to me. I love you, my body. You're God's gift to me. I love you, my every cell. You're so precious to me. I love you, my body. You're God's gift to me. I love you, my every cell. You're so precious to me. That's how your body can be nourished by your meditation. Now slowly bring your attention to the gross body, the physical body, observing its weight, its warmth, its posture. Come into body awareness. the gross body is connected to the earth element. And now slowly bring more air into the lungs, opening up the belly to breathe. Slowly push the air out and bring in more air into the lower lungs. Slowly breathe into the belly area. You're re-energizing the physical senses once more. Earth is connected to the sense of smell. As you breathe into the belly, you're also nourishing the sacral area. That's connected to the sense of taste. Navel area is connected to the sense of seeing. Manipura chakra. And now open up the chest to breathe. Bring more oxygen, more air into the lungs, the middle lungs. And this one energizes touch. And then breathe into the throat area as you open up the shoulders. Focus on the brain stem and the third eye. There's a connection there between the medulla and the third eye. That allows you to experience prana in the brain. And now you can push the breath out like in Bhastrika. Bellows breathing. Gentle until you feel that the entire body is alive once more. And here's where we'll end the meditation with the Om sound. So you'll chant the Om sound 3 times with me. Breathing out, I'll breathe out through my mouth and through my nose, and breathe in through my nose. Shh. In through the nose. Shanti. Thank you, everyone. That was meditation for healing and well-being. Now I'm going to open the space that you can ask me questions. You can converse with me. So feel free now to ask me anything you would like to. I will accommodate anything that you want to ask me or tell me. Feel free now. The floor is open to you. I think that you will know Saji. I think that they,
Yeah.
to raise
So
the
please
hand.
unmute yourself and please ask the questions, okay? So you have a full control to do that. Please.
Feel free. I see so many beautiful faces. Feel free to say something to me. Did you enjoy it? Is there something you would like to know more? I'd love to hear how you feel.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Dahlia.
Thank you so much for this very, very inspiring satsang. Please, I would like to ask,
Yes?
why are we here in this era? What is the meaning of our lives? Why did we came right now in this incarnation?
I will tell you.
It is a Kali Yuga, but I'm not very knowledgeable. So please enlighten me on this.
Yeah, certainly. That's a good question. Now, actually, some of the more informed astrologers say that we are out of the Kali Yuga and we are into Dwapara Yuga. Now, but we are in ascending yugas, where the yugas are going to get better and better. So we are out of the dark yuga that we call Kali, but we are into Dwapara Yuga. So what is in Kali Yuga, only the Tamogun, only the tamas predominates, so only darkness. Spirituality is very little. So spirituality had to be underground, very much underground and secret in the Kali Yuga. Now there's Dwapara Yuga, there is more sattva. There's a little more sattva. But the dominant gunas, the qualities of nature, are rajas and tamas. They are the dominant gunas. So rajas is about ego, and tamas is about ignorance. So we still have a lot of ego and ignorance in this yuga. But the spirituality is going to grow more. So there is hope that throughout this yuga, spirituality will grow more and more. So that's why groups like our groups will begin to become bigger and better with time. But we have to be very, very cautious that the outer world is still governed by a lot of ego and a lot of ignorance. So we need to learn how to navigate this journey in this Dwapara Yuga. We come into the life because of the past karmas, the karmas that are stored inside of us. So the many karmas that are stored inside of us, they bring us into the lifetime. And if you come in a dark yuga, like what we are now, a challenging yuga, it is because we want most cleansing, especially if we are a spiritual soul. We want to fast-track the karmic process. So those souls who come in a dark yuga like now, they have the advantage of clearing up the karmas very quickly. So don't look at it in any negative way. Look at it in a very positive way, that we have lots of opportunities to clear up the darkness that is within us. The dark karmas, the negative karmas inside of us. Does it make any sense? Thank you. Thank you so much for your question.
Swamiji, thank you very much for that beautiful meditation. My question is, being that you said that everything in life doesn't happen by chance, including our meeting today, does that mean that no matter what happens in our life, even the darkest things that happen in our life, we should really pursue those as a learning experience, as a universal teacher?
Absolutely. No question about that. The universe sees all and knows all. It's omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. So everything is seen by the infinite. So It holds the whole karmic play in its being. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens by chance. So every event has meaning and purpose. It is for us to uncover that, to see it, to know it. And when we can't with our veiled eyes, because our eyes are veiled by Maya, then we need help of the masters, or evolved souls, those who can see more. They
So
can
it's
help
greater
us more.
awareness.
Yeah, it requires awareness. It requires more consciousness. That's why
Yes.
in the prayer of the Gayatri Mantra that we learn, Om Bhurбhuva Swa Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Let my intellect be in the light. Illumine my intellect. That is to see clearly. Let my mind be able to see clearly. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful satsang. Your journey is really inspiring. You spoke about this experience of being in the presence of the Guru,
Yeah.
and the specific feeling and the experience that is described in also many books that we read. And so the path, in a way, is for many people who haven't had this kind of experience, is the aspiration to get there. But also in many of the texts, those who have had that experience, they say that it's ever present in ordinary life. So for us who cannot go to India or perhaps have like the search of Guru and meet that person, we kind of live with that aspiration which seems to be far away. But at the same time, there is this, the presence of it. Like all of the masters, they say that it is actually where we are now.
Yeah,
so I'm wondering, what can you say about that? Thank
That's
you.
an amazing question. In fact, I would say that I met the Guru first in a dream. Before I actually reached in India, I was resting one noon hour. I was just lying down in my bed, and I was reading the book of Swami Vivekananda, a little book. And I rested on my chest. And then suddenly, I'm very conscious, dream is happening, and I saw smoke. I'm just seeing smoke. And I saw walking to me a yogi with this bindu mark, and looking at me with piercing eyes. And when it happened, I saw more smoke happening, and I saw the feet of a blue statue. We call it murti. So I thought, oh my God, and I woke up just after. What an experience. And when I went to India, and when I met my master, one day I was going through old pictures of him, and I saw the picture. So he met me even before I would physically meet him. So it is said that, well, of course, masters are omnipresent. So they can come to us in dreams. They can initiate us in dreams. They can initiate us from the other world. We can read a book and feel completely taken up in it. When I read the book of Swami Yogananda, it touched me very deeply. And when I read about how he left his body, it touched me very deeply. I could feel that I was there with him. And he gave me, again, the feeling to meet a living guru. But I needed to meet a living master. But even when I met him, he pushed me inside. So the master is really inside, and the master is omnipresent. Sometimes we may need the touch of the physical master. I think I did. And but if we are, but the inner master will come to us at any time and grant us our desire. So we never need to worry about that. I know it's a nice question, but when the student is ready, the master will appear, whether inside or outside. Thank you very much for your beautiful question.
Thank you.
So all yogis, please.
Namaste.
Namaste. It was a very, very inspiring satsang. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. And I was listening to your story about your journey and of the Kundalini, and I was listening with, may I say, envies about all these experiences you had. Maybe I'm not the only one in the group. And also I read also the book of Brahmahansa Yogananda a few times. As I was reading, I was also very inspired and I was very eager to go to the cave and meet the masters and things like that. So I've been practicing yoga in the way, my limited way. And I'm just wondering when and what does it take to experience what you experience with all the karma coming in pressure? Is it something that's destined to
Yeah,
happen at some time in our
it's,
lifetime, or is it
it,
something?
it's a good question. It's a good question. But yes, it is the past karma that hold us in bind or in bondage. But we also have the good past karmas that help us to find masters, that help us to understand the spirituality. So we need to follow the path of the good karmas. And then they will give us the clarity, they'll give us the mind power, they'll give us the motivation to deal with the bad karmas, to work through the bad karmas. But, for example, in your life, I'm certain, because of your deep understanding and your resonance with the masters, that you have good karmas that are helping you to lift the consciousness. But know that everything is perfect and everything that you need will come to you all in the right time, as it did to me. I was impatient for transformation. And so destiny, as destiny would have it, it brought all the right circumstances to me. So those are my good karmas. And one of the things that I am passionate about always is doing good, making a difference. So I'm continuously building good karmas. Not for anything, but because it is a joy of making a difference in my world. I love being good, doing good, helping, serving. It's my passion. I thrive in that. Thank you.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Thank you so very much. Just to maybe continue with this same question, something that came to me was this idea. We do so many things and we practice in so many ways, and we're all, I think, students learning so much right now and opening to many things. But this idea that comes of letting it happen, and how would you suggest cultivating just simply letting things happen?
Excellent question. Because we need both. We need to act, and we also need to observe and let things happen. So we call that working with the universe, co-creating with the universe. So every time you act, look at the consequences. They'll have a message for you. It's a universe, in a way, messaging you back. It may tell you, don't go along this road, go along this one. It may tell you, okay, you have lost this job, but don't give up. Look again, knock the other doors. Don't give up. If one thing doesn't work, you keep on looking at the opportunities that are in your field. And always you will see that somehow guidance is there to take you to the next steps. But you have to work with the universe. You can't think of doing things because you want to do it. So we would say, as God wills. Act in a way, but don't get caught by the outcomes. Learn to work with the outcomes, because the outcomes are determined by karma and the universe. So in a way, when you work intelligently with outcomes as messages, then you're working co-creatively, we say, with the divine. So learn to co-create with the divine. Don't work by yourself. That's where the solution is. Thank you.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
I wanted to ask you about feeling stuck in one's sadhana. Do you think there are times when it's good to change your practice, or do you think that stuckness is sometimes part of the journey that you should just
Yeah,
continue?
well, two things there. If you feel stuck and you can't seem to come out of it, then you need to think of changing your sadhana. Just begin to explore. But don't stay in a place that is continuously miserable or the outcomes are not what you want it to be. The outcomes are not desirable. Don't stay there for too long. And even as you get involved in new possibilities, treat them the same way. If they begin to plateau or stagnate, then you begin to change again. It's good to meet change with change. It's a universe of all possibilities. Don't get stuck. All is possible. Okay?
Thank you.
Guruji is waiting on. It's the best opportunity for us, to ask to the living master, experience several years of this. When he was in the event first time in India, I was just 8-year-old. So please take this opportunity.
But I'm also enjoying your peace. I'm enjoying the space. So although you may not speak, another part of you is speaking very loudly. Your soul.
I have one more question, if I may.
Certainly.
I'm the question makers in this group. But,
Certainly.
This extending Ali's questions about getting stuck and changing. How do we know? There's so many offers out there, and sometimes I find so many things are interesting, and I'm trying to keep myself focused. When do we know the time to change? Instead of something, sometimes I try not to hop from one thing to another. How do we know when it's stuck, and how do we know that we should persist longer?
Yeah, somehow, if we ask ourselves the question inside, should I stay with this or should I not? If you get a definite answer from inside, and hopefully you're attuned to your higher self, if you get a definite answer, no, change this. And you wait with it, and if it continues to be, change it, listen to it. If you get an answer that doesn't give you a positive response, that you still don't know whether to change it or not, then what that says to you is that you can either stay or you can change it. Stay and work through it or change it. So it gives you two possibilities because it didn't give you a definitive answer. It gave you two possibilities. Stay with it, you can explore staying with it, or you can change it. So that's how you work with the universe. And when answers are not coming, it means that you can continue to stay with it. Or you can change it.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, my friend. Where are you from? What country are you from?
I'm from Russia.
Oh, Russia. Lovely to have you.
I have a question. When I doing something, I wanted to do with my mind, and there is a voice in my head which always give correct advice. Is it bad or is it good? is it voice universal mind, or it's some
it is universal
mechanism?
mind. It is universal mind. When you get that support from inside, we call it intuition. Intuition. It is universal mind. So it is good that you can tap into the universal mind and you can feel the answers coming, or you can feel the guidance coming. So that's a good thing.
We called it совесть in Russia.
Very
but
good.
I want to understand where it's from. Is it in my head or is it universal?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Sometimes it can come from your what we call your subtle ego, and it appears to be like from the universe. So you have to be very careful whether it's not from a good part of you, or a subtle part of you, or a deep part of you, and it's not really the universe, but it looks like it is the universe. So sometimes there are imposters in there who appear to be like the universe, and they're not. So that's where we may need the Guru's guidance, or we may need the guidance of evolved souls who can tell us, no, don't follow that voice. Because it's a subtle ego. Do you know what I mean? Yes. It's beautiful to hear from you and to see the different countries. And some of you are from countries that I don't have members, like Russia, for example. And it's beautiful to hear the different voices and to see the presence from different countries. Saji, that's excellent work that you are doing in the field.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yeah, I see you get some thumbs up. That's very nice. Yeah. Saji is a beautiful teacher, full of love, full of goodness, full of caring, masterful teacher. One of my disciples had gone to him to study Hatha Yoga, and she was very, very much inspired by Saji. And that's how we started to connect.
I think almost 10 years ago. Guruji.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Achala Devi.
Yeah.
From Australia.
So almost we are starting this Satsang program from the last month, January. So this is just dedicated to the Yoga Day.
Okay.
And it's the best way we can gather the people. Anyone
Beautiful.
can free enter and go. And all these days, all the masters comes and bless us.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Saji. Yeah. So here, I'll say a prayer. I want to thank Saji for inviting me and for meeting all of you. It's been a joy meeting you. And of course, I see your faces, but I meet you on the inside. I can feel your presence. I can feel your love. I can feel your goodness. I can feel your desire to learn. And I love that you have a passion for knowing more about you. The science of yoga is really very powerful. And it can lead you back to connection with yourself. So here I'm going to say a mantra. Let's come into a quiet space as I say a mantra of blessing. The mantra says, may we all be happy, may we all be healthy, may we all see only auspicious sights, good sights, and may no one have a share in sadness. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhaved. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much, Saji.
Yeah.
It's been
Thank
a
you,
tremendous
Guruji.
joy.
Yeah, I just want to invite Anna Shivasakti to give represent the student side to say some words to Guruji.
Yes.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Just very grateful for today, and on behalf of all the students, I wanted to express great gratitude for an incredibly inspiring satsang. So much information packed into such a short space. I think it will take a lot of time just to unpack the great pearls of wisdom into what was a very personal, beautiful story shared of your Shaktipat and Kundalini awakening, which I think for many of us is very powerful because, as we said, we read about it, but to meet somebody who has experienced this directly is incredible. And just to say that we are so incredibly grateful that we have some good karma, because our good karma is Saji, who connected us all beautifully and also led us to you today, this incredible satsang. And to just feel again, to be brought to this essence of yoga, as you beautifully describe with your analogy of the wheel, I think is something that for many of us we will carry, this connectedness of the spokes, and at a very important time when we're so spread out, to feel that connection back in the hub. So thank you so much, Guruji, for this really
Anna.
And thank you, Saji, for all of these weeks of bringing all these masters together and guiding us and giving your time constantly and endlessly and all the time being available for us.
So, thank you everyone to join today's satsang. Tomorrow we have a International Yoga Day, and I know I'm going to wake up here very early morning.
Yes.
So yes, almost 5:30, 6 o'clock, some of you. But it's the day for you to refresh. This is the day where Shiva turned to this side and giving the knowledge. So wake up early morning and come together. We do some small pujas. We do mantras. We meet the Swamijis who we invited us. So all of you please be in the time. So we just give our pranam to Guruji for today's satsang by chanting Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu. I request all of you, if possible, please open your camera. This is the best way we can give our gratitude to Guruji for today's satsang. So, hands in Namaskar Mudra. Om Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat, Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Thank you. Hari Om. So bring the right hand and imagine you're putting a nice, wonderful, a light lamp, and take that left hand with respect and just be offered to Guruji. All of you offer to Guruji.
Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
All of our pranams to Guruji. Hari Om Guruji. Just want to say a few
Recording
words
stopped.
On tomorrow's section. And morning we have 9:30 a small short yoga practice.